I'm Senator Bob Huff. Thank you for joining me for my capital comment for the week of February 14th, 2011. Last week we finished up our budget subcommittees, moving into the full budget committee this week. Now, while the Democrats have portrayed this as half revenues and half cuts, we've told you before that the cuts were really only $8 billion and the revenues were $14 billion with another $6.5 fund shifts. Well, this week they started wiggling away from those $8 billion of identified cuts, and they started finding other ways to backfill those monies with borrowed and one-time fund sources. We don't know how much is going to be shifted at the end because we have one more day of full budget committee hearings as of this recording. But the problem is we're not fixing the underlying budget problem. The budget is not the problem. It's the underlying structural deficit. And unless we fix that, we'll be back here next year and the year after that. So that's my hope as this goes through the process, that we can actually find out what those reforms are, identify them, and adopt them. But we're on a pretty tight timeline. This has to happen by March 11th, we're told, to be able to get onto the June ballot. That's a very aggressive schedule to do realignment from the state government down to the local, to find these reforms and get them, and to find Republicans willing to go up. And frankly, I don't know where they are because we're not hearing it in our caucuses. Now, the legislative analysts, because the Democrats commissioned it, came up with what an all-cuts budget would look like. Now, ironically, it doesn't look as bad as some people might have thought. So at the end of the day, that may backfire on them, but we'll see. Any way you look at it, whether it's the original budget or the one the LAO says without the tax increases, it's going to be tough, and there's going to be people hurting. But for people that are not in the state programs, they may think, you know what, this is better than suffering higher taxes. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining me. I'm Senator Bob Huff.